I love to keep Panzarella guessing. He doesn't take that well. Well, it really is wonderful to be with so many special people tonight, and so many of you have already been mentioned. First of all, I'd just like to say thanks to Cherie and to Lisa and to Candy. You as leaders and your staffs have made such a difference. I also bring greetings from the girl I love and have been married to for over 4 decades, who basically went down hard Saturday and hasn't been able to get out of bed since then. Believe me, she wanted to be here, and she has had nothing but great things to say and times with those who've worked here at Easter Seals. It wasn't that long ago for both of us that Deborah and I thought about, at least for the ability to have a national impact, we needed connection with an organization that had national impact, national reach and local impact. And Easter Seals has clearly stood up because of who they are, who they've been for so many decades, and their willingness to embrace the issues and the challenges and actually the joys and the opportunities of touching and impacting our veterans and their families. So both of us are and will be eternally grateful for all you do for so many. And I know all you will continue to do. I also particularly appreciate so many sponsors here. Some of you I've known, but there are many here that I haven't known, and it warms my heart to see the expansion of support in this space. People ask me what I'm doing as retired. Retired really isn't the accurate description of who you are when you leave the military, and I'm doing a lot of things, but Deborah and I are spending virtually all of our volunteer time in the veteran space, and as we say, we will do this until we can't anymore. It's that important. To Tammy and to Gary, and I'll say a few things about Mr. Brokaw in a minute, but to you who've been so special for so long, we just really appreciate your support of Easter Seals and this event and all you've done for such an extended period of time. The word bit, Gary, is probably a little short of what you've done in terms of those of us who know how much of your life, how much you've sacrificed, how much your family sacrificed to support our men and women. So we really do appreciate that. People have talked about numbers tonight, and with all the good things that have happened, and I think Candy said earlier it's 250,000 who are coming home per year. There is a number like that. I sort of round that off to 1,000 a day that need jobs. And that will happen over the course of the next 3 or 4 years. And while there are great efforts across our country in many, many ways, we're hiring about 100 a day. And that's with some significant efforts. And while I am supportive of our entire force, the ones that I worry about the most are the sergeants. They are the bulk of who's coming home. And it is those that we need to make sure we're connected with to ensure that they can be just like those you've met tonight, and those that Lisa talked about to pass on this heritage, which is so important. So while we're on our way, we still have a long way to go, and efforts need to be redoubled and redoubled and redoubled again. So I thank you, but I also want to urge you to lead in this space and generate outcomes that are broader and deeper than we've already been able to generate. I do have the pleasure of presenting the Advocacy Award to Tom Brokaw tonight. And as has been mentioned, to say Tom is an inspiration to our country and literally the world is a vast understatement. You can read in his bio all the awards that he has won, and it's very difficult, quite frankly, to think of something original to say about what Tom Brokaw has done. But my experience with him in the last several years basically indicates to me he has no bounds, and he is particularly passionate about our veterans. And when you think about our veterans and you cross that with Tom Brokaw, in many ways it starts with his book, The Greatest Generation. But what Tom has also done that a lot of people don't see, and certainly that is a signature accomplishment for many, many reasons. But what you haven't seen is the impact of Tom Brokaw on our veterans of every generation. Those that I've met inspired by him from the Korean War, from the Vietnam War, which is so close to my heart because of the difficult times we all went through, and to see so many Vietnam veterans welcomed home in the support of our current veterans who are welcomed home is just a great inspiration. And it's my view that the voice of Tom Brokaw has had an awful lot to do with that, connecting all our veterans, including this extraordinary group of young men and women. I had the privilege of serving for over 43 years, and in my time, this is the best I've ever seen. And their opportunities and their abilities matched to opportunities will continue to make a huge difference for our country. There's nobody that has been a voice, been persistent and consistent with the ability to make a difference close to Tom Brokaw. I had a friend of mine who called him the other day about hiring vets and taking an initiative, and this woman is a very special, very influential woman, and as she ends the conversation to call Tom about doing something, he rattles off about 10 other ideas that she needs to participate in, and that's just Tom. Back to, he knows no bounds for our country, for our people, and in particular for our veterans and our families. He has been a wonderful voice for military families as well. So Easter Seals, you picked a great individual and a special man, and Tom, we all know how committed you are in this space, and we are blessed and fortunate to have your leadership, your inspiration, and your voice. And we are eternally grateful for you and also for the sacrifice of your wonderful wife, Meredith, who I know pitches in tremendously as well. So it's a great honor for me to present the Easter Seals Advocacy Award for 2013 to Tom Brokaw.